Imagine if you were dancing in a nightclub just steps away from one of the greatest players in history, but you didn't know it. Imagine if you were just 2 meters away from Cristiano Ronaldo, but you didn't realize it. Or worse, imagine you were playing a match with a football legend without even noticing. Here are 10 times footballers disguise themselves in public. Number 1. Ronaldo in a nightclub. Cristiano Ronaldo once recounted how he had to disguise himself to enjoy a New Year's Eve party at a nightclub with his friend Ricardo. Ronaldo shared the story during an interview with Piers Morgan in 2019. He said, "It was New Year's Eve, and I told Rick we had to go out. We had to do something. It was New Year's Eve. We couldn't stay at home. Rick agreed, but they needed a plan, so they decided to wear wigs, mustaches, and jackets. Anything to avoid being recognized. However, their disguise didn't work as well as they hoped." Ronaldo continued, "A guy behind us whispered, 'Cristiano, I know it's you.' I thought it was impossible. This guy told everyone in the nightclub that I was Cristiano. Suddenly, I felt like everyone was looking at me. We stayed for 2 or 3 hours before heading home. It was one of the best nights I've ever had. I felt free." Number 2. Shaqiri as an old coach. In 2015, Xherdan Shaqiri decided to surprise some young players for fun. He disguised himself as an old coach and trained a young Swiss team. He wore a padded sports tracksuit, a long gray beard, and a cap. At first, everything went well, but the young boys started to suspect something was odd when the old man began delivering long balls with great accuracy and scoring free kicks easily. The secret was finally revealed when this so-called old coach outran one of the young boys and easily scored against the goalkeeper. Shaqiri immediately tore off his beard and the rest of his disguise, and of course, the young players were thrilled to be fooled by a real Swiss legend. Number 3. Ronaldinho the policeman. In 2015, during a Pepsi ad, Brazilian legend Ronaldinho decided to dress up as a police officer to surprise some young players in the park, but it seems Ronaldinho wasn't disguised well enough. He wore a police uniform with sunglasses and a hat, but it didn't take long for the boys to realize it was Ronaldinho. As soon as he approached them to ask for the ball, they immediately recognized him and were thrilled by the discovery. Honestly, it was quite funny. He even took the time to play ball with the young players. Number 4. Hakimi and Mbappe in New York. If you're a celebrity and you want to escape the spotlight, a complete disguise is essential. That's exactly what Hakimi and Mbappe did during their vacation after the 2022 World Cup. After an outstanding World Cup, their PSG coach gave them a few days off at the beginning of 2023. They chose to spend time in the United States. To stay anonymous, they wore masks, turtlenecks, hoodies, and caps to avoid taking any risks and not be stopped on the street every 2 seconds. Their plan worked perfectly. They enjoyed their stay in New York without attracting too much attention. They even took a photo in Times Square with thousands of people around without being noticed. Apparently, they enjoyed the experience. Number 5. Walker the rapper. One day, Kyle Walker disguised himself as a rapper on the show Britain's Got Talent, and his disguise left the judges surprised. In 2018, just before the start of the World Cup, Walker appeared on the very famous show to showcase his rapping skills alongside comedian Jack Whitehall. The Manchester City defender hid his head with a hat and sunglasses while his stage partner was dressed as the World Cup in human size. They presented themselves under the false names Darren and Andrew. During the Manchester competition, they wanted to sing a song to support the English national team before the 2018 World Cup in Russia. The judges Simon Cowell, Amanda Holden, Alicia Dixon, and David Williams were not impressed, as they didn't press the buzzer. But Simon did offer an invitation after the performance and said they were great. At the end, Walker took off his costume and surprised everyone. The judges were shocked and embarrassed at the same time because they had made somewhat harsh remarks. Number 6. Ribéry, Rafinha, and Alaba as workers. When these 3 players were teammates at Bayern Munich, they decided to go to a local park disguised as workers to trick some young players. This video was part of an ad for a construction company and vehicles based in Munich. Ribéry, Rafinha, and Alaba were disguised in worker uniforms with fake hair and beards so that they were almost unrecognizable. Once on the field, and after a few minutes of warming up and juggling, some guys arrived at the park and sought to challenge them to a match in front of a crowd of spectators. At first, the Bayern players pretended not to know how to play football, and they endured numerous taunts. But then, the 3 Bayern stars quickly turned the tide. Just a few tricks and other technical moves served to give a lesson to these young players. After a few minutes, the 3 players revealed themselves, and everyone then understood what was happening. People took the opportunity to take photos, and they had a lot of fun that afternoon. Number 7. Rivaldo, disguised to play a friendly match. One day, Rivaldo disguised himself to play a friendly match with a group of Barca supporters. He went onto the field and did what he did best: dribble, score, and impress everyone. After the match, it was time to announce the man of the match. And of course, it was him. Rivaldo then stepped forward and revealed his true identity. No one could believe their eyes. Throughout the match, the players were playing alongside a great legend who had even won a Ballon d'Or without realizing it. His disguise was so convincing that even Rivaldo himself would have had a hard time recognizing himself. This impressive transformation was thanks to the famous makeup artist Sarita Allison, who has worked on X-Men films, Harry Potter, and several Star Wars movies. Anyway, among all the players on this list, who do you think was the best disguised? If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Also, activate notifications to never miss our new videos. See you soon.